Councillors, I'll firstly welcome. I'll declare the meeting open. Can I also recognise that Councillor Rebecca is online? But can I just welcome our staff to this meeting? Today is a special meeting in respect to our budget review, and of course we all know, we all understand very clearly the circumstances we are now working in terms of finance, that kind of thing. It's not what it used to be, and I thank those who've been putting so much work into preparing what we're about to receive today. I'd like to thank those who are in the room today with us and pass my respects to all of our staff who are here and everyone who's watching via Council's social media. As I open this meeting, can I acknowledge the Aboriginal parties whose songlines traverse these lands we meet on today, the Western Waka Waka, the Gaibil, the Jarrawa and the Bigambul peoples, and can I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the knowledge, the rich traditions and the bold ambitions of Australia's first people. As I will move to item 2, as I previously mentioned, Councillor Von Hoff is attending by Teams, so welcome Councillor Von Hoff. Also would like to note that we've granted leave of absence to Councillor Carol Taylor and Councillor Melissa Taylor, and that's just noted, there's no resolution required there. Anybody wishing to seek leave of absence in the not too distant future? If not, I'll move to item 3, which is our September budget review, and I'll hand over to Andrew.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, councillors. So this afternoon we're presenting to Council to present the revised budget for 2022-23, including adjustments as at the 30th of September. This is after the last week's presentation of the recent Council information session where we went through key items. So going through the executive summary, we've seen an overall improvement on the operating deficit of $9.3 million. This is improving upon Council's original budgeted position of $5.8 million deficit as set at budget time. This is now likely to generate an overall surplus of $3.5 million based on the current numbers. In addition to the operating side, capital income has also increased by $9.85 million, whilst holding the capital expenditure at $159 million. Underpinning the overall improvement in operating surplus is predicated on the basis of generating additional revenue in the current financial year on the basis of the DRFA flood impacts based on the works undertaken in the prior financial year. In addition to this is also an increase in interest rates, led in part by the ongoing increases as a result of the RBA interest rate increases. Going through the issues and responses, we've seen an overall increase in the operating income in total of $30 million. That has only been offset in part by an increase in operating expenditure of $20.8 million. This has led in combination to the overall improvement on the operating position of $9.3 million. Overall, this has helped sustain Council's long-term financial forecast ratio, which in historical terms has averaged on over about 1.5% or $5.3 million in the last 5 years on average. Overall, this is a positive outcome for Council. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Councillor McDonald, as chair of that portfolio, would you like to make some comment, please?
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks very much. I'm happy to move the motion when we're ready to do so. Andrew, thanks very much. And as you mentioned, Mayor, and I echo your sentiments to the staff across financial services in regard to putting together the budget review one. Andrew, acting GM Kylie, thank you very much as well. But I wanted to pay particular tribute to right across Council on this occasion, because we, as a Council, have needed to be quite disciplined in our capital works program. This Council set that out at the formation of the budget back in June, and I'm very pleased to see that the operational team led by the CEO has actually taken that on board. So we'll see an increase of capital expenditure take place. However, we've also seen that we're holding the line at 159. So it's a good one to remember, councillors, and I encourage us as we work through the next 6 or 7 months, and particularly early in 2023 at the budget review too, when the volatility of the market will be even clearer with record high inflation, 7.3 set to increase, the RBA set to go up another perhaps 25 basis points tomorrow morning, up to close enough to 3% cash rate, increases in cost of living for households, increase in cost of doing business for businesses, and increase in council doing business. And I just wanted a question through you, Mayor, to Andrew, to give comfort to councillors in regard to the variables that we are confronted with, largely out of no fault of our own, or in fact the nation's own, particularly around the cost of fuel and other variables as to whether we've input some of those variables into the budgeting at least until the end of this calendar year to BR1.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Holding the line at 159, you seem to be a poet and you didn't realise that before, did you?
Well, actually goes a bit deeper than that, because it was Councillor Shine that actually suggested we should hold the line at 159. So I think full credit goes to the portfolio lead on that one. But if I could have an answer in regard to those variables through Andrew, it would be much appreciated. Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor. We've factored in a number of those variables as part of the BR1 request. That should see us through to the end of the calendar year for a number of those variable costs, and at which point we should have a better indication as to what the other or longer term impact of some of those fuel and other variable costs may be post-December, and which can be factored in at BR2. But at this stage we have factored those in.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And if I could just make one final comment on the reliability that we are when we have disasters on the Disaster Relief Fund, and timing for that is obviously critically important. The DRF is a funding source, naturally, as we have funding sources for all of our other expenditure. Given that there's a 3-month period of which we can do emergent works, which we did at the tail end of the last financial year, we're now seeing funding coming back into the organisation as a result of that. So we are very much reliant on that. And again, through you, Mayor, and I know you do it on every occasion, we should always sing the praises of the delivery of local government as far as an asset for our community, but more importantly on behalf of the state and federal government. So look, I commend the report. Happy to go to other questions or comments, Mayor, but I'm more than happy to move it when the time is ready.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any other comments around the room or questions? Councillor Shine, would you like to make a comment on as portfolio leader?
No, simply to endorse what was said by Councillor McDonald in his comments. It is, and I certainly wish to emphasise the congratulations that Councillor McDonald extended to all of the council staff and all portfolios cooperating in what is not an easy task to achieve. So well done, and look forward to receiving any other comments from councillors here today.
Councillor Von Hoff, you're online. Have you got any comments that you wish to make at this point? Okay. Any other comments in the room? If that's the case, if there's no further comments, once again, to re-endorse what I've said before and what has been said a couple more times, thank you very much to our staff, the very professional way in which they're managing our budget in a rather difficult time. There's a certain amount of uncertainty, as Councillor McDonald said, ahead of us. So, Councillor McDonald, if you wish to move that motion.
Very happy to move the motion. Thanks, Mayor.
Seconded by Councillor Shine. Are there anybody wishing to speak against the motion? If not, I will put the motion. Those in favour? That's carried. With that,
Councillor Rebecca's vote.
Councillor Rebecca, have you voted, Councillor Rebecca?
Yes, in favour. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. So we've got a unanimous vote. So thank you very much. With that, I think it's appropriate, given that we've done all we planned to do, that we close the meeting. Thank you very much for your attendance.